it is a wonderful honor for me to be able to introduce to you our student speaker today, Rakesh Ramakrishnan. A little bit about him. He graduated from ITU in the fall of 2020 as a Master of Science in Software Engineering, and currently he is working as a software developer for SAP. During his time at ITU, he held the position of Vice President for the SGA. He was the regional chapter member of the Computer Society of India, and he was awarded the Best Contributor Award for the year of 2017. He was also honored with the Inspire Award for Excellence by the Indian Institute of Technology. It is with pleasure that I invite Rakesh Ramakrishnan to our virtual stage.
Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, Rakesh.
Okay. Thank you so much for the introduction. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rakesh Ramakrishnan, a 2020 graduate from ITU. I sincerely thank the ITU management, the student government body, and its precious student volunteers for giving me this chance to address the graduates of ITU. Graduates, family members, professors, and ITU staff, it is an honor to be part of this celebration. We have graduated in a decade that will be written in the history books as one of the most difficult decades of the 21st century. We have faced enormous challenges in a scale that has never been faced before. We are resilient. Every one of you listening to my voice has overcome humongous hurdles thrown at you. You have shown the world that it's possible to come out of these difficult times successfully. You are the pillars of ITU saga. You are the future pioneers in your field. You are the roots for the successes of the people who will one day walk your path. Everyone here has had their own share of excitement and stories that they will carry along with their life. As a student of ITU, I've had a very different experience. The teaching style, the lectures, the syllabi were very different from what I have experienced in my home country. This culture shock didn't last long, only because of the professors who are eager to help and guide me, and for that, I'm very grateful. Today, you will reminisce those days when you were rushing through your coursework, flushing through your ideas, and crashing through your projects. Do not forget that these were the things that molded you and taught you what you know. I take a moment to thank all our wonderful professors who have dedicated their time to enlighten us. Every professor that you ever came across during your time at ITU has left a piece of their abundant knowledge within you. Cherish it, nurture it. It will push you further to heights you've never even fathomed. This day, you are poised to start a new chapter in the story of your life. Armed with the skills and knowledge you've gained, I can see that you're eager to tackle this next phase, whatever it might be. For some, PhD might be your next stop. Some might choose to head towards the workforce, and some might choose to start a firm. Whichever direction you take, I can guarantee you that your world is already changing. Your contributions to the society is going to change the world for so many people. And whatever the next chapters in your life story may take you, make sure that the journey includes joy. I would like to thank the ITU for helping me improve every day and aiding us to be in alignment with the current market conditions through the developed policies. The assistance from the university for the internships that students undertake during their time of study shows how the university seeks to help provide the students with practical knowledge. All the efforts from the Student Government Association, student assistants, professors, ITU staff helps make students feel at home. How can I finish my speech without thanking the ITU staff? They have shown us that they are the backbones of ITU, making sure that every student issue is resolved. We don't call them when they are happy. We don't talk to them when we are worried. But when we have an issue, they are the ones who help us and resolve our problems that we are burdened with. I take a moment to sincerely thank every one of our ITU staffs for always being there for students like me. I will end the speech by saying only this. You got this. Yes, you got this. Be humble, be adventurous. Today is your day. Thank you so much for giving me this wonderful opportunity.
Rakesh, thank you so much, so much. I know that I speak for everyone at ITU. We are very proud to watch you become an ITU alumni and to watch your career flourish. Thank you so much. Now, I was just informed that Mr. John Dubois is indeed here. I gave you a little introduction on him before, but just as a recap, Mr. Dubois is the current chair of the Board of Trustees at ITU. And Mr. Dubois, I would like to welcome you to our virtual stage.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I think we're good.
Ah, perfect. Okay. Well, Rakesh, that was very, very good. Thank you so much. I want to congratulate everyone, and I hope you feel very proud of yourself, as we're very proud of you on this graduation day. It was a very challenging year for you and our faculty. I tried to watch a couple of commencement speeches. I tried, but kind of nodded off. So what I decided today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, what I learned in my 34 years of television experience. I hope to give you a gift of sharing my life experiences as I have with my own children. I hope you can take away a nugget or two that will contribute to your life success. Please remember, life success is not defined monetarily, but by your enjoyment. So let's, let's enjoy life. And I graduated from the University of Kansas Business School with an emphasis in accounting. I worked on my master's degree in finance until I got married. I soon learned I did not like sitting at a desk crunching numbers. What I liked was being with people. So I took a sales job with a NBC television affiliate in Topeka, Kansas. So lesson number one, find your passion, study it, read it, learn all you can about it. And guess what? Become the best you can be. You will never, ever have to go to work again because it will be fun. Yes, you're going to have up and downs, but so what? You are going to love what you are doing. The second lesson I learned was from my future business partner and mentor, Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Ralph owned several businesses, including the Buffalo Bills and our TV station. One Saturday morning, he sat on the corner of my desk and said, "John, you're going to be very successful in this business. Just remember, stay out of that gray area. Stay out of those situations because they're either black or white. If you try to move into that gray area, that's when you're going to get into trouble. You're going to make mistakes." And he had this great laugh. Ralph would go, "Oh yeah, I've made 1,000,000 of them, but you won't get into trouble when you choose white when it should have been black later on down the road." So in other words, be honest, do your best, and don't try to manipulate things. In business, when it comes to character and integrity, it is always black and white. There is never no half pregnant, half honest, half lies. In the business world, your decisions will define you morally and ethically. So the third thing I learned was practice the golden rule. Treat others as you want to be treated. I found out that the little people, and I say that little people like secretaries and administrative assistants and everything, want to be treated, with respect. And that means just stopping, not only to just say hi, but engage with them. That is so important. You know, you got to recognize and appreciate that person, not only for what they do, but just for themselves. I I tell you what, those little people opened more doors and kept them open for me than you will ever know. They really helped me to succeed. So, you know, my fourth lesson was the joy and satisfaction I received in giving and giving back. My passions are health and education. Hence, I'm here today with ITU. As I truly believe in ITU and its mission, I hope that you will remember as an alumni ITU. It's and please, if you can, find ways to support our mission, either with your time or treasury. And your time can be recommending ITU to employers, business associates, possibly new students, yeah, get the word out, spread the news. ITU is a super university. And with treasury, you can give money, either support programs or teachers, some of the instructors that you gave, or scholarships for others. There's a lot of ways that you can give back to the community and to the school. Be a giver. You will get back more than you will ever give. It's amazing what will come back to you, both in satisfaction and just life's joy. So I hope these little 4 points out of probably 50 I could give you, but they didn't only allowed me a few minutes to talk, which I so appreciate. So just remember, find your passion and then go for it. And then, stay out of the gray area. Your character will define you morally and ethically. So remember the golden rule: just treat others as you like to be treated yourself, and respect others. And then the last is giving, both in time and treasury. So my best of wishes for you. I am so honored to be able to visit with you today and wish you the very, very best. Thank you so much.
Mr. Dubois, thank you so much. That was absolutely wonderful. Thank you very, very much. Now we are going to go backwards just a little bit, and I would love at this point to present to you, it is my honor, my pleasure to introduce to all of you the president and the CEO of ITU, Yaojin Chan. President Chan.
Thanks, Bill, and welcome all of our wonderful students. I have so much to say to you, and also to praise you guys for sticking with us during this COVID time. I hope we've done our best to ensure, and I think we have, and I hope you have experienced having a first-rate education at and with ITU, despite COVID. We've striven to make your experience no less than it would be as if COVID never came. I'm going to keep it short myself because coming up we have an amazing keynote speaker. I'd like to let you guys know that even though ITU is a small school, one of the highlights of ITU is that we have always had world-renowned keynote speakers. But before I get into that, I'll say just a few words. A few years ago, when I was giving a speech to our graduates, I was driving on the road to the graduation ceremony, and I had notes with me. I prepared a speech, but I thought, what can I really say to my students to just like our chairman, John Dubois did, grab from my own experiences and share something of wealth to you guys that I have learned throughout my life. And what came to mind was to really appreciate, be grateful, and embrace your lives and be grateful for it right where you are now. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is that you will certainly value and cherish and be grateful for your lives right now, but maybe later in the future in your lives, like maybe 10 years, 15, 20 years from now, you look back and whatever problems you think you have right now, 20 years from now, you'll look back and you say, oh boy, I was so young, I was beautiful, my career was just starting, my future was right ahead of me. Man, what a great time. So, whatever your problems are, maybe financial, maybe it's a love life, whatever it may be, a mortgage payment. But the reality is, when you compare your lives now with the worst in humanity, you should be very grateful for what you have. You're in a great position in life. You're at a great age, and you've been situated now in this graduation to really launch yourselves to a new era. So I would say be very grateful for what you have. The other kind of thing I wanted to say to everyone is to kind of let you know the institution here at ITU, the people, the staff, the faculty, and let you know how really fortunate you guys are. As a CEO coming back, I observe the staff we have. I observe the faculty we have, and I see the curriculum, the improvements, and the way the teaching is carried out. So, like in all organizations with people, you will often have, conflict within your staff, and that's no different at ITU. We will see I will see very heated, passionate discussions, between staff members at times. And, as a CEO, I often will just sit back and I will observe. Now with COVID, a lot of times I'm invited to tons of meetings that there's no way I could ever attend all of them. But once in a while, I'll just kind of drop in, slip in. I won't say anything, but I'll just kind of observe. And what I've seen, especially when I've seen conflict between two very great staff members, is I'll kind of drum down. I'll say, what's motivating these people? What's motivating, the left side? What's motivating the right side? And invariably, every time I have seen the conflict, every time I've done this exercise, the motivation on both sides is that the staff is vying for the best benefit of the students. That's just where their heart is, and they contribute from their heart, from their soul, to make your lives better. So what you have gotten at ITU has been the outpouring of those kinds of intentions. Also true with your instructors. This is pretty much true across all of our disciplines, across all of the majors. But I don't mean to just single out one instructor among so many outstanding ones we have. But if you look at the capstone courses that were taken over by our CTO, Mamoon, and then and later now, with George, Dr. Tenos, all of you who have been in those capstones, and that should be pretty much all of you without exception on this graduation today. You guys have experienced either George or Mamoon leading a small group of ITU students that are, number one, cross-disciplinary, and number two is anew. something new technology. And I have sat in and I've observed these classes taking place. And I just tell you, I've been at ITU 22 years, but I have been in education and in this form of kind of entrepreneurial high-tech education for 28 years. And I will tell you, there is nothing else like what you're getting in this capstone that you would get anywhere else in the world that I have seen, because you have two gentlemen leading that have broad backgrounds of technology expertise, and they have deep knowledge as well. So it's both horizontal and vertical that their knowledge base is, and they have contacts, and they know what's going on in the latest cutting edge in industry. So, you know, I have seen both Mamoon and George take a group of students and very quickly, no, what you guys are proposing, it's I see where you're going, but you're kind of off. Now, if you look at how NVIDIA does it and these new companies coming up, boom, boom, boom. Now take a look at this website. You guys take a look at that, come back next week and put something together. So, you know, the kind of talent and depth of knowledge that you're getting at ITU is really unparalleled. And I think when you go out there, even if you're like super high paid and stuff, you will, in reflection, I think you'll come to appreciate the quality that you've received. And that comes out very much, especially these two gentlemen that I just mentioned, both Mamoon and George. They reflect very much the sentiment that my dad had for education. And my dad always said to his students, you know, I treat you all just like I treat my own children, my son and my daughter. My heart, when you're here in front of me, I give you everything. I give you the best benefit that I possibly can. He says the only difference is that you get me like this as a student during office hours and during class time. My son and my daughter 24/7. So, but you know, I think you guys really have experienced that with your studies here at ITU. And if you can value that and you can see how that has contributed and will contribute to your future and the future of your families, then, you know, now this is something new that I've started doing just this past year because of my good friend Philip, who has kind of called my mind to this, is along the same lines of what our chairman John Dubois said, is if you can appreciate what we have empowered you with, then honor that gift to you by in turn giving back to the community, giving back to the world, making the world a better place, not utilizing that power that you get to be a jerk, you know, to be a selfish a-hole. So that's really the message I really want to leave to you guys today, is that what you have received, you know, from the hearts and souls of all the people, from the staff all the way up the line at ITU and across all the faculty disciplines, then please, you know, be a continual part of ITU, help us grow the culture, help us grow the mission and vision to really help the entire globe of humanity through utilizing Silicon Valley technology that's cutting edge. Okay, so that's pretty much the end of my speech here. I'm going to do a quick introduction to our keynote speaker, Yale Lam. And maybe perhaps, I'm not sure if I do it well enough, maybe you can also read the bio that's been put on the screen. But I will tell you that keynote speakers at ITU commencements From year one of graduation in 1995, we were established in 1994, was the late and great Edward Teller, Dr. Edward Teller, who established the Lawrence Livermore Labs of Berkeley, who was a Nobel laureate and the father of the hydrogen bomb. Our second commencement speaker was Ran T. Lee, Dr. Ran T. Lee from Berkeley. He was a Nobel laureate in physics. Our third commencement speaker was Dr. Stephen Chu, Nobel laureate from Stanford University in chemistry. Our fourth one was Dr. William Perry, who was the US Secretary of Defense. And we've had other notable people, including Willie Brown, politicians, Tom Campbell, so many other technologists and politicians and notable people. And today, you guys are so lucky because no less on your graduation, we have another world-renowned pioneer. Yale is a noted, famous entrepreneur, fintech industrialist. He was the founder of AllScore, which was just sold off recently for, I'm not quite sure how many billions of dollars. So you guys can look up Yale's background. But in meeting Yale myself, I have found him to be a thoughtful, humble man of integrity and of good moral fortitude. So both professionally in terms of his success and personally as a man of integrity and good meaning, I present to you our keynote speaker today, Mr. Yale Lam. Thank you for coming, Yale. Yale's also a board member of ITU, and we are so fortunate and lucky to have him. Yale, please take over.
Thank you. So everybody can see me? All right. Good morning, everyone. It's really my great honor and pleasure to attend this commencement. Thanks President Yao's introduction, though it said over highly over me. In fact, I have been encountering with lots of pressure, troubles, and difficulties. For example, this is my first time to give a formal English speech, actually in my life. So, it could be easier if I can present on a stage, because I can use my body language to help me to communicate. But right now, I'm just only can facing with a camera. You can imagine how nervous I am. So maybe I need some word right now. But I pleasantly to accept the President Yao's invitation when he reached out to me a couple months ago. My motivation to join ITU is I'm very impressed by Dr. Chen Shubai, the founder of the ITU. His story, not only his super wisdom of industry-focused educational model, but also his spirit of never give up. Back to the 1980s, going through the almost 10 years preparation and negotiation with China government, Dr. Chen's proposal to establish a new educational model university was fair, actually. It's turned down by the China government. So it's understandable how disappointing and frustrating the situation was. But eventually, Dr. Chen stuck to his beliefs, conquered all challenges and difficulties, founded ITU in 1994 in Silicon Valley. This ITU spiritual legacy always encourage me to face up with all the challenges and trying to resolve problems. I have chance to get along with many so-called successful people. I found out actually they are experienced much more pressure and burdens. For example, like Jack Ma from the Alibaba, even he cannot travel abroad freely like us. So the keys to success are not counted by how many problems you met. Instead, the keys to success are determined by how our grit to challenge, our persistence to face. After your commencement, I cannot ensure every graduate's success. On the other hand, I'm sure you will meet challenges every day. Just like this pandemic, we cannot predict and stop it happening, but we can decide how to handle with that. Some people might be depressed because of life change, but some people, they take advantage of this lockdown to spend quality time with family, with friends. So me and my family, we drove a motorhome to visit tens of a national park during this lockdown time, because there's not too many people in the national park. It's very nature. We had a very enjoyable time. And some company, because of the business is shutting down, so maybe go bankruptcy. But some company, like the Zoom, which we are using right now, made a significant development. In ITU case, because President Yao worked hard on our platform establishment beforehand, so we can respond to this crisis promptly and provide the high quality online course to our students. So all the graduates today, I think we are very happy. So we can graduate, and we need thanks to President Chen and all the staff. They're hardworking. So the first thing I would like to share with you is that our life is created by our manifestation of our minds. No matter outside difficulties or challenges happen, only we have grit to taking challenge. We have confidence on ourselves. Then we can make a joyful and successful destiny. The second thing I want to share is that I would like you to take advantage of ITU's platform and resource. Buddhist said it happens where it meant to be. Your diploma set up a bond between you and ITU. So you are a member of ITU family. Just like what our chairman John said in his presentation, ITU is a treasure. ITU has tens of thousands of graduates since it founded. Those alumni, including you today, are the most valuable resource to ITU. Besides this, ITU owns unique industrial network, IP, capital resource, market resource, and entrepreneurial resource. Like John and I and some board member, we're just ready to help you. Dr. Chen Shubai founded ITU, but today's ITU is co-built by all ITU members. Certainly, it should serve for all graduates. Following the brand following the brand of mobilization and virtualization led by President Yao, we are planning to develop a hybrid ITU community platform. Maybe someday through ITU app, all ITU graduates can do networking, social, crowdfunding, investment, wealth management, job hunting, startup business, legal service, insurance, everything. So all ITU family members are participants of this platform and sure should benefit from it. So ITU will always be your forever home for your guest station, for your safe harbor. So let's stay tuned and welcome back to home anytime. At the last, I would like to congratulations to all of you. You are very extinguished and wish you a all glorious future. Thank you very much.
Mr. Lam, thank you so much. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your insight. That was wonderful. Thank you very much. Now, for our next keynote speaker, I would like to introduce to all of you Dr. Anthony Collins. Just a little bit about Dr. Collins. Currently, Dr. Collins is serving as Clarkson University's 16th president, and he is a regional and national advocate for higher education. Governor Cuomo of the state of New York nominated President Collins to sit on the Board of Trustees for the New York State Higher Education Services Corporation as a representative of private higher education, and he was approved by the New York State Senate in June of 2018. President Obama nominated Dr. Collins to serve on the advisory board of the St. Lawrence Seaway Development Corporation in the state of New York. Dr. Collins has served on a commission to investigate and study utility companies' storm preparation management and to recommend reforms to overhaul the regulation of the entire system to better deal with emergencies. And most recently, Dr. Collins was appointed to New York State's Reimagine Education Advisory Council, and this is the advisory council that will help New York school districts and colleges with the critical issue of how to move forward in the face of COVID-19. Dr. Collins, I invite you to take our virtual stage.
Thank you very much for that introduction. It's a great honor to be able to speak to you today. President Chan, ITU Board of Trustee members Du Bois, Chan, Hung, and Lam, ITU faculty, students, and community. Thank you for the invitation. Congratulations to the true authors of this celebration, all of you, the graduating class of 2021. After I read the mission statement for ITU, I understood that you would be now ready to continue your careers in the large world around you, as is ITU. And like ITU, at Clarkson, we promote innovation, the entrepreneurial spirit, critical thinking, and values. Similarly, we support practical, hands-on experience, internships, and co-ops. And we too offer engineering and business degrees. Our graduates become CEOs, vice presidents, own their own companies, and have fulfilling, high-paying careers. I believe that is your future too. But what is interesting is that ITU began in the 90s with a curriculum that was ready to prepare students for today's world. Clarkson, on the other hand, was founded in 1896. We needed to evolve to where you are starting. Clarkson is a member of the Association of Independent Technical Universities. There are about 20 universities like Clarkson, private and technical, that belong to this association, including names you would readily recognize, such as Caltech and MIT. Technical means more than half of our undergraduates study engineering. Of those 20 universities, Clarkson is the only one in a rural location. Every other technical university was developed in a city, often a long time ago, to supply a workforce for factories for the Industrial Revolution. Clarkson is not only rural, but there was no industry, and the region is actually economically depressed. So as you drive in the traffic with all of the other 7 million people in the Bay Area, we sometimes have to wait for the cows to cross our country roads. Almost 20 years ago, we realized that Clarkson has assets that can help grow the economy. Perhaps more importantly, the interactions would allow Clarkson to have an additional raison d'etre, another purpose. In other words, instead of just doing research and producing graduates, we could have a further goal. And that would be the creation of technologies that could help our world. Our Coulter School of Engineering created the motto, technology serving humanity. By interacting with the community and helping to commercialize our research work, we could grow companies, create jobs, help the local economy, and therefore serve humanity. At the same time, much of higher education in the United States had realized that research should be valued and extended towards commercialization. There are a number of opportunities that are available with this approach. It is possible to derive revenue from commercialization. You can have places for students and graduates to be employed. This free flow between the universities and these activities can almost be seamless. Perhaps even more importantly, a few of Clarkson's faculty saw the opportunity to engage in something that had obvious rewards, startup companies. At the beginning, there were only a couple of faculty members involved. And there was one important step along the way that changed all of this. At Clarkson, we created a discovery-driven entrepreneurial support hub called the Shipley Center. In the 1990s, there was a physics professor at Clarkson who was a theoretical physicist. Can you imagine that? A theoretical physicist. He came to me and said, there are no more great discoveries left in physics. I want to move into biophysics and be an experimentalist, and I need a lab. He was one of the first people to bioprint meat, protein. You can go to a TED talk given about 12 years ago, and you will see him hold up a pork chop and eat it on stage. He developed that, manufactured that pork chop. He then developed a company called Organovo and another one called Modern Meadow. This company can make artificial hide for shoes. You can go from the manufacturing facility straight to the shoe, no cow in between. He had left Clarkson and was in San Diego to start the first company, just down the road from you, literally. And so I convinced him to come back and be the director of the Shipley Center. And then the faculty who were skeptics about commercialization noticed. Once we had a well-known and highly respected physics researcher return to head our commercialization center, they paid much more attention. Prior to this, many had thought that commercializing was a way for the university to make a little bit of money from intellectual property, and it was wasting the time of faculty members. They felt they should just be doing research. The return of the physics professor brought in a new era of innovation. Another part of this is the high cost of higher education in the United States. A vision would be that our not-for-profit university where we educate would also have a for-profit operation. We actually have an equity stake in our startup companies, and currently we have equity in 9 or 10 of those companies. That for-profit operation could return revenues to help support the educational mission of the institution and keep the costs of higher education lower. And they can be operating together where our students go from the not-for-profit operations sitting in a classroom on campus to one of these downtown businesses in the afternoon and get paid while gaining great experience. So how does all this relate to graduating from ITU? Well, you are in the midst of Silicon Valley, the Silicon Valley culture. And you may be thinking that once you leave ITU, that this is the end of being associated with the university. After all, you have had opportunities to intern, and some of you may now have jobs with companies like Pixar, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and Uber. You are international and living and working in the most entrepreneurial climate in the world right now, but you could end up anywhere. And my hope by telling the Clarkson story is that you will keep ITU and all universities in your mindset as you pursue your entrepreneurial goals. Higher education will continue to evolve and collaborate with the brightest and best minds. I hope that you can support that endeavor. It is needed to ensure affordable and high quality education, as well as to support the roles universities can play in serving humanity. Now, I just want to switch gears briefly as I close to a phrase in ITU's mission statement: ethical leadership. While you are well prepared academically and will have great careers as worldwide technical and business leaders, I challenge you to think beyond your job title, your salary, and your future awards and status. Henry Thoreau, the poet, essayist, and philosopher, said, "What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals." It is difficult these days to follow the news headlines without feeling dismay of the world's problems. In addition to a pandemic, we can become overwhelmed with the challenges of diverse nations, human rights issues, racism, poverty, the climate crisis, and political corruption. As you embark on the next phase of your lives, with degree in hand, and face these challenges, I ask you to think about Thoreau's quote and focus not only on achieving your goals surrounding a successful career, but be that person whose morality is reflected in the willingness to do the right thing, even when it is difficult. Be that person who, at the end of your life, can be applauded not only for what you accomplished, but more importantly, by how you accomplished it. Be an ethical leader. Thank you for the opportunity to address you today. Good luck and congratulations.
Dr. Collins, thank you. That was a very interesting and frankly important speech. Thank you so very much. Now, for our third and our final keynote speaker today, I would like to introduce all of you to Dr. Gary Rosen. Dr. Rosen is the Vice President and General Manager of Varian Semiconductor Business Equipment Unit at Applied Materials Incorporated. He has more than 25 years of direct experience developing high voltage semiconductor processing equipment. He is responsible for building and leading one of the strongest product development teams in the semiconductor industry. He has also held management positions at Eton Excelis, where he led the development of 300 million products. Dr. Rosen holds a PhD in engineering science, a Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering, and a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering from Clarkson University. Dr. Rosen, it is my pleasure to invite you to our virtual stage.
Well, thank you very much, and good morning, and congratulations to all the graduates. I've always felt it's important to celebrate milestones, both large and small, and today's milestone qualifies as a big one. Also, I'd like to thank Professor Tanis, the ITU Board of Trustees, the Commencement Committee, and President Chan for inviting me to speak today. I feel honored to have been asked to share some of my thoughts and experiences. It's also, by the way, the first chance I've had to wear a nice shirt in 14 months, so thank you. I've also asked my cat to try and stay out of the camera view, so we'll see how that goes. So during my initial conversation with Professor Tanis, he indicated he'd like me to speak from the perspective of someone who has achieved success in his career in the corporate business environment. I began to mull the seed of an idea over and over in my mind, and most of my thoughts brought me back to earlier times in my life. I was hoping to find some silver bullet that I could share with everyone, something like buy low, sell high. But I realized that my success is a product of a collection of behaviors and traits developed from years of experience gained earlier in my life. I like to think of these learned behaviors and traits as the layers in a foundation. As you move through life, you learn and experience more and subsequently add more to your individual foundation. As I continued to think about this, I was able to identify some distinct experiences and learnings through the years that became part of my foundation. Today, I'd like to briefly share some of these experiences and highlight the elements I believe were critical in defining my success. My hope is that you will be able to recognize specific learnings in your own lives that will help you define your success. So, the biggest layer in my foundation actually started forming at the age of 12 when I met a boy whose family owned the vegetable farm adjacent to my junior high school. My friend Robbie talked about how he drove tractors and rode dirt bikes every day after school. Having always enjoyed tinkering with my bicycles and the various clocks and other items around my house, much to my parents' chagrin because they didn't always go back together the same way they came apart, I immediately accepted his invitation to join him after school at his family farm. That was the beginning of 10 years of experience for me working after school and during summers on the farm. I learned what it meant to do hard physical work and the physical and mental benefits of it. I learned to ask questions on how to perform a task when I didn't know. I watched the labor teams cutting heads of cabbage and lettuce with an efficiency and an accuracy that I could never replicate. I had genuine curiosity for how they accomplished their jobs and developed their skills. I also had respect for what they contributed to the operation of the farm. As I grew older, I was responsible for guiding the teams through the day on the many different tasks, and the respect I had for them allowed me to manage them effectively. In retrospect, I realized I found my first role model in my boss, a second-generation farmer. I watched how he interacted with everyone who worked on the farm, and his patience and respect for the people and for Mother Nature. He worked longer and harder than anyone else and never got upset when there were setbacks. He always remained focused on what needed to be accomplished. So hard work, curiosity, a willingness to ask questions, and a deep respect for others were key learnings and foundational elements for me from my years on the farm. Also, finding role models to learn from. These traits have helped define who I am, and I use them daily in my role running a billion-dollar semiconductor equipment business. As I moved on in life, I used these traits over and over again and added others as I gained more experience. And while I'm painting a picture of a straight line from my youth to being a success now, I can assure everyone that was definitely not the case. There were significant setbacks and challenges along the way, but the formula remained the same. I used these foundational traits to work my way through each new challenge or setback. After one particularly challenging blow in my junior year in college, I realized I could use these situations as motivators to prove I can achieve my goals. I learned that it's very important to use setbacks to light a fire inside me and bring focus and clarity to what I want to achieve. I learned from this time in my life that clear goal setting and personal drive and focus are what's required to overcome challenges and setbacks. I'm often asked by people to provide career advice, and I always begin the conversation by asking, what do you like to do? I found that deep interest and passion in a specialty or a job function almost always relates to success and happiness. My interests and passions have always been around mechanical systems and spaceflight, spurred on through news stories about the Apollo and space shuttle missions. As I moved through my undergraduate career and into graduate school, I pursued my interests and found a passion for building mechanical systems. In the 1980s, Clarkson University established the NASA Center for Commercial Development of Space. And as you can imagine, any center with the word NASA in its name was a magnet for me. I immediately pursued my master's degree in the lab funded through NASA. While performing the experimental work for my degree, I learned about a NASA fellowship that would pay for my doctorate. I truly didn't think I could win such an elite fellowship, but I sat down and I wrote a proposal and I submitted it to NASA headquarters. A short time later, I was informed that I'd been selected as a recipient of the fellowship. I was truly amazed. This fellowship not only funded my degree, but also provided me with some of the most exciting times in my life. My key takeaway from this time in my life was that I should never count myself out before attempting to meet a goal because I thought the goal was above my abilities. Self-doubt can be self-destructive. Don't give into it. After I completed my doctorate, I took some time off to backpack through the Adirondack Mountains and enjoy the natural beauty of the area where I lived. It's okay to take time for yourself. And then I began to look for a job. One of my doctoral committee advisors suggested I look into the semiconductor equipment industry because he thought my interests and experience would be appropriate. I quickly found a job as a mechanical engineer designing ion implantation equipment for use in processing silicon to produce logic and memory chips. These machines really piqued my interest, and they continue to pique my interest. They are literally particle accelerators used to modify the electrical and physical properties of various materials. They are very complex, large machines that sell for of dollars. Beyond the technology of ion implantation equipment, I was exposed to the broad array of people and skills required to design and manufacture these complex machines. From my first day on the job, I interacted with physicists, mechanical, electrical, systems and software engineers, equipment technicians, materials scientists, chemists, and process engineers. These talented people came from all over the world. Every day I would sit in meetings working closely with people from many different cultures and nationalities. It's really one of the underappreciated benefits of working in a company that has a profit motive and a global customer base. You get the opportunity to solve problems with teams of people working closely together with a common set of goals. And these people bring foundational experiences of their own to the table, built as part of the culture and experiences of their individual life paths. I made sure to listen carefully to everyone and learn from them as well. I also learned that a corporate culture of openness and inclusiveness can be a real competitive differentiator. As I continued my career, I was exposed to many people with more seniority and experience than me. I always tried to learn from them and listen to their advice. Throughout my career, there was a string of people that mentored and advised me, beginning with a shop teacher in junior high school and progressing through several university professors, my doctoral advisor, and corporate executives. I owe all these people a debt of gratitude. By listening to them, I was able to make decisions that eventually turned out to be good. I've really enjoyed each phase of my career, and I receive significant job satisfaction when I think about how far the semiconductor industry has come since I joined it. When I started the industry, advanced chips like the Intel 486 processor were manufactured at the 0.8 micrometer line width node. Today, we are developing technology to produce chips at the 2 nanometer node. That represents a 1,000-fold reduction in the line widths used to form transistors and wire them together on the memory and processing chips used in all our consumer devices. We've taken what used to be a room full of servers and put it in the pockets of billions of people. I'm proud to have been part of this industry and experience real job satisfaction when I think of how far we've come. The key behaviors, traits, and learnings that define success are clear to me. A passion for what you're doing, deep respect for the contributions of others, curiosity and ability to ask questions, hard work, inclusiveness, a sense of humor, seeking out mentors and role models, listening, never counting yourself out. Did I mention listening? Clear, articulate goal setting, and enjoying what you're doing. I mentioned before that I was looking for a silver bullet to share with you, and yes, you should buy low and sell high. But if you push me to pick just one of these traits from my list, I would tell you to focus your energy on developing true interest and respect for the people around you. The return on that investment will be interest and respect from those same people for you. And this is a foundational element that will take you far. So whether you're pursuing a career in a large corporation or academia, or want to become an entrepreneur, I believe all these traits are important and will help you achieve, your definition of success. So thank you for listening to me. And once again, congratulations on reaching this big milestone. I wish everyone the best of success in whatever you do, and please enjoy the ride.
Dr. Rosen, thank you. Thank you very much. That was another wonderful speech that we had today. So thank you, all of our speakers. This has been wonderful. So now we're going to ask all of you that are comfortable, all of the graduates that are comfortable, please, if you would, turn on your cameras. We want to take a digital class photograph. And so if all of you would turn on your cameras, our photographer, Grace, is going to take the screenshot of each page. It's going to feel a little weird because we're going to ask you guys to keep smiling, and then she'll let us know when she's finished. Okay, Grace, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay, so everyone, I know we're all going to feel silly together. 1, 2, 3, smile.
Okay, let's go to the first page. Okay, smile everyone. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to the second page. Let's smile. 1, 2, 3. Next, let's go to the third page. 1, 2, 3. And then we go to the last page. 1, 2, 3. Now, thank you, everyone. Back to you, Bill.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so now we are at the point of what is arguably the most important part of today, which is the recognition of the candidates and the conferring of the degrees. Newton, if you would please.
Yes, thank you very much for that, Bill. It is our pleasure and pride to present the candidates for the graduate degrees for the classes of 2019, 2020, and 2021 for the following degrees: Master of Business Administration, Master of Science in Computer Engineering, Master of Science in Electrical Engineering, Master of Science in Digital Arts, Master of Science in Engineering Management, Master of Science in Computer Science, Master of Science in Information and Cybersecurity, Master of Science in Software Engineering, and Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical Engineering. We would like to congratulate the following graduates: Kai Yu Chang, Monica Jaladanki, Himani Gupta, Zoe McBuck, Pavani Ipuri, Prashanta Kumar Patnaik, Shravani Muddu, Sudeshna Boddupalli, Purvaj Ravichandran Venkatraman, Lakshmi Gangadharan, Indira Priyadarshini Peddada, Rakhi Jha, Jyoti Tripathi, Shruti Nimgaonkar, Farzona Ismailova, Komal Joshi, Vimarsha Adayar, Shruti Sankhe, Shashank Karki, Trilochan Paudel, Aishwarya Prakash Kembhavi, Christian Camilo Vargas Castro, Eric Palmer, Shruti Lohe, Aparna Jayaraman, Rakesh Ramakrishnan, Trung Nguyen, Shweta, Ji Ling Hu, Sushmita Ganesh, Rima Agarwal, Rekha Singh, Neenu Babu, Lakshmi Rajappa, Raja Kumpatla, Mitra Ashkan, Shuping Chow, Sunanda Sharma, Bhavisha Tyagi, Soni Kumari, Neeru Jain, Nitin Lomash, Pragya Mahapatra, Ratnamala Rishita Garuda, Yu Zhao, Abdul Karim Khaja Muhammad, Vaidehi Rahangdale, Wei J. O, Yiliwela Ali, Rohit Balram, Nivedita Barai, Sai Boddu, Purnik Sheth, Shin Lin, Ada Chaman, Reena Pulli, Nagashri Bhatt, Liwon Samelvian, Ying Yi Song, and finally, Dr. Mamoon Abu Samaha. Now, I would like to invite ITU President Yao-Jean Chan to confer the degrees. Yao, would you kindly unmute yourself?
Thank you, Newton. I have to say I'm very proud of all of our graduates. I wasn't aware that all of our graduates also included Eric and Mamoon. So congratulations to staff and faculty. So please join us in thanking our speakers, faculty, and staff, and applauding all of our students and you, our students, the family and friends that sacrificed and supported our graduate class throughout their entire journey to success. Thank you. It's been an honor to serve you, and we look forward to the success that you will certainly create ahead of you. Congratulations.